Hello and welcome to the Godmother podcast. I am the Godmother, and for those of you who are new, welcome. Who is the Godmother? You probably don't know. That is me, and I am here to bring you nourishment for your mind, body, and soul. Okay, what does that look like? That looks like uplifting, inspiring, motivating, and encouraging individuals and bringing forth conversation and communication and dialogue on topics like individuality, family and home, education, occupation, and community. We have so much negativity that's going on in society and the world. I want to be able to add to the opposite of that. Bring love, compassion, understanding, concern, acknowledgement, support, aid, um, patience. You know what I mean? All that good stuff that some people just don't get. Now, when it comes to my content, and if it's not for you and you feel like that this is not the information for you, please leave it. But if you know someone that can use it or can be able to be inspired and motivated and have some words of encouragement sit their way, pass it to them. Now, for those of you who are new, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. For my returners, thank you. I so appreciate the support. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Now, for those of you who don't know, in addition to this Godmother podcast, I am an artist, an author, an event planner, and a motivational speaker. Now, a lot of my information you can access from my bio, but when it comes to me being an artist, you can access my art on my website. My website, you can access it through my bio, or you can always get my email. Email me, and I will send you the link. But my art is displayed on my website, and I also have a Pinterest account. So you can look up Creative Productions, which is my business. You can look it up on Pinterest, and you could be able to follow my boards, and you could be able to see my art as well. I am also an author. I have several publications that's out. I have a fiction book. I have a self-help book. I have several journals, and I have a family book, which is called Our Family Story. The fiction book is basically a story about resilience of a young lady going from a young lady to a woman, facing challenges and obstacles, and it is a very motivating and inspiring story. Please check it out. It's called Lady and the Triumph. Triumph. That's Lady and the Triumph. Triumph. You can access that as well in my bio or on my website. My next book I have is called Set Your Ship to Sail. This is my self help book. And this is a book that gives you a guideline for you to be able to begin to start planning what it is that you want with your dreams and your goals. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? A lot of those questions need to be answered, and this is a book that helps you as a guide to be able to start that journey. And it's called Set Your Ship to Sail. It is available on Amazon, ebook, as well as paperback. I also have several journals that I have published. One, I have made a three set, and it is called Triple Moon Goddess Set. So basically, it is a journal, and you can get it together. Where is it that it'll take you throughout the year, and each book represents 4 months out of the book. The good thing about my journals is that number one, they are timeless. What does that mean? There's no dates on the journal. Two, we just don't have empty pages inside. There's actually prompted entries for you all to be able to record and then review back later on. You can actually keep them and then use just like diaries. In addition to the Triple Moon Goddess 3 set, I have a Daily Grace, I have two different kinds, two different types. Daily Grace Journal. And the GRACE basically is an acronym and it stands for gratitude, read or research, alkaline, creates, and exercise. And so you can also access that on Amazon. Once again, you can find the information in my bio, but you can also look on my pages, like I said, on Pinterest as well as Instagram. Okay. And then last but not least, I have the family story. It's called Our Family Story. This is a book where is it that it gives you the ability to record your family members and use this data as an heirloom to be able to pass down it generations. And then these generations can be able to add on to it. So within this book, it gives you the opportunity to have several pages dedicated to the elders and the ancestors and the lineage, but then the rest of the pages, and it's about 120 pages, gives you the opportunity for each one of your family members to record their information in there. And this book can be used as an heirloom to be passed down. Um, Please, so thankful for the support. Check out the books. I know that they will be greatly um, utilized and you could benefit from them. As I said, with the event planning and the motivational speaking, right now I'm tying a lot of those things up into my podcast and these videos. And what I do is that I create worlds based off of my visions. And I also am the one who is so caring and nurturing, where it's that, yes, I want to be able to give the message out there to somebody that needs it, which is why the Godmother was created. Now, today, normally I'll be drinking me some tea, but I'm not drinking me some tea. I'm actually drinking me on some just H2O. And I'm going to go ahead and get down to the topic for today. We're going to base it around education as far as teaching, you know, your knowledge. What are you literate of? What you do know, what you don't know, or you just don't know anything. And that's the basis. The title of this message will be called The Joy of Not Knowing. Let me say that again. The joy of not knowing. So we say, well, what does that look like? Why is that joy when you don't know? Well, I prompted a question. And the question that we had to stem around this conversation today will be, why is admitting I don't know the first step to learn? Let me say that again. Why is it admitting I don't know the first step to learning? Because you've acknowledged that it's information that you are not privy to, but also you obviously would like to learn. Normally. Now, if you don't want to know, you'd be like, well, I don't want to hear. But some people are like, please tell me. I love that. But some people struggle with just saying, I don't know. I used to be the one that was so afraid to admit that I did not know, especially being surrounded around individuals that knew what they were speaking about and were able to converse about it. It made me feel lost until I realized that in order for me to be able to enter the conversation and engage, it doesn't mean that I don't have to be a part of it because I don't know. Speak up and say, you know what? I have not heard of that. Enlighten me. Now you've created a conversation. And it took me a long time to understand that's good dialogue. We sometimes put more energy on conversations that's not needed instead of conversations that could be beneficial and useful. And when you don't know something and somebody is in a position where they actually have the information, all you got to do is say you don't know and let them tell you, especially if they're willing. I feel that we see a lot of it. Well, I see a lot of it, like in businesses, right? You ever go in an office building and you get to the receptionist or the secretary or just the office clerk, the one that you're going to meet when you get to this location to be able to get you to see whoever it is, right? And this is in person. But whatever the case is, let's just say something happens and then the energy is off and y'all not getting along. But the truth of the matter is that maybe you've asked some questions they don't know. And I've seen that and I've experienced that many times. So first of all, I'm not here to question your position. I'm here to give you a question about this facility, this company, because you're the representative that I need to deal with right now. So I don't have any information about this company. You work for them. So you would know. Or at least I thought. But instead of you saying, I don't know, but let me find someone that do, now you in your feelings. So you get an attitude. Now you take it to a level where it's that now my energy up too. Because who you think you talking to? And I'm not saying that that's right. I'm just being honest and tell you how it went. But my thing is this, is that if you don't know, because look, I don't know neither, and I got to ask you. And yeah, I assumed you knew because you work here. Now, there are other many scenarios where that happen. You could be in a friend circle. And you have individuals that are embarrassed because they don't know. And instead of just saying, I don't know what y'all talking about, they pride and ego will not allow them to say, I don't know. It becomes a big problem. And the thing is this, is that I do agree that this is the first step in learning, is when you admit that you don't know. It opens the door for you to be able to say, okay, I can start here. I can start this research. I can start this study. That is what I did. Over a decade ago, I remember making a post. So I've been on my spiritual journey for going on a decade now. No, I take that back. I'm going to say 15 years. But I do feel that I was getting downloads and upgrades over the last 25 years. And the thing is this, is that as I reflect and go back, I'm like, that was what was happening. So 10 years ago, I read a post. And the post asked some questions and it said, if you don't know about these things, look them up. I didn't know about them, okay? I so admire and love when an individual can be able to communicate, conversate, and share knowledge and wisdom and information just from the retain of their head. That's impressive to me. Now, because I'm the type of individual that know how to research, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go back up and see what you're saying is valid. But when I know that it's valid with what you're saying, the thing is this, is that, man, I love it. It also inspires me that I want to learn too. I'm no longer the one that is afraid to say, I don't know. Because when I looked at that post, I didn't know none of that. And I have been living in a way to where that I feel like all this education in college that I've gotten, I'm supposed to know everything. And you don't. But nevertheless, I love the fact that it opened me up to say, I want to do more learning. Now, when you come across a situation that cross a situation where you don't know anything about it, from zero to nothing, you don't know anything. But you're in a position where it's that either you need it right now, you got to use it, or you got to be knowledgeable of it. The best bet is to just be honest. If you have time, or how can I say it, if you're giving the opportunity beforehand to be able to do any type of work prior to this event situation, whatever it is, then do it. I began to do that. A wise person said, many of us be on these technical devices and we just scroll. We just be on there, just be on there. Are you gaining anything? Are you benefiting? So you have a walking computer in your hand and you ain't doing nothing but what? Posting pictures? When I realized I started learning about computers, this is a true story, when my children were in high school. When they started applying for colleges, I applied with them. I'm the only one that got the degree. That's another story. Nevertheless, I taught myself. I got so exhausted with steady going and asking my children, help me do this, help me do this. But then when I went to college, and for those of you that know, you know, you got to start with the computer class if you are not knowledgeable. And trust me, the older you get, the more difficult it gets because it is a lot of information to retain, but also it allows you to be able to navigate through this technical device. And you navigate it, Spirit just talked to me. It's the same type of way when you see gamers gaming. They know how to work the controls because they're used to it. You just got to be able to know how to navigate this device in order to do what you need to do. And I learned it. And man, to my teacher that taught me, well, the class, I mean, it wasn't like she just singled me out, but she taught the class for computer technology. It was one-on-one or something. When I say I love when a teacher know how to connect. And she connect because I just became knowledgeable, like I said, about I became knowledgeable when I took my courses, and that was back in 2010. Now, of course, what I've learned, but there's so much more that I know now. I know how to go and seek and search for what it is I want to learn. I didn't know that before. But why did I do it? Because it started with me admitting that I didn't know. How many of y'all are out there that you hold on to pride because you are afraid to admit you don't know? Then I want you to go deeper. And for that I don't know that you have, are you working on knowing? Do you work on researching and finding out information about it? Or do you just lie and say that I don't care about that. I don't get because you don't know. That's some of the hardest things for many people to get past is just to admit they don't know something. And you have to understand you being able to admit that you don't know something does not take away from you as a person. Like it places you at the bottom of the barrel. Who told you that? So we're supposed to just know how to do everything? No. You should know how to do a lot, especially if you're walking around with a phone, a computer in your hand. Some people get on the device and they know how to shop and this and that, but they couldn't do anything else. It's individuals who really don't even know how to look up their own information to find out information about them. But they don't want to admit it. So how you finna get some help? Come on now. It's okay. And even if you don't want to ask, I guarantee you if you research and read, you won't have to ask. But then you get mad when you ask somebody to do it. Be like, well, wait a minute. Do you know how to do it? Well, I don't know. Well, this ain't even my shit. I know how to take care of mine. So if you're going to come with that type of energy, I'm going to say no. Now, if you don't know, just say, I don't know. It's okay. And I've seen many people, and I always go back to businesses and companies. Please, when I call businesses and the representative get on the phone, or you go in organizations and businesses, and then that individual comes out and they give you all of these titles that there is. But what get me is that with these titles, you don't have answers to some of the questions that I need. Then you'll get in your feelings. Won't just say you don't know. It's embarrassing, of course, because you with this title and all, why you don't know. But you want to get mad at me because I'm asking. I don't know neither. I don't work here. We got to stop. Learn something. Every day you should be pulling up that device that you have instead of, if you feel the need to scroll, feel the need to learn something. I catch myself because when I post and advertise for my business, I get on the social media, I have to make sure I catch myself that I don't get too caught up in just scrolling. What I do like to do is engage with other individuals that I'm connected to, yes, but we can easily get caught up in that, just, they call it dead scroll. At least learn something. I'm going to tell you something. When it comes to me, I've already shared with y'all in previous videos that I definitely do have teachers that I follow, I listen to, and I learn from them because I didn't know the information that they had. So when I came across these individuals, because they know the information, guess what? I'm grabbing my pip and pen. What? What you say? Especially when you know that you spent thousands of dollars to go to institutes and educational institutions, and you realize you weren't even given the information that you get now here. So I love the fact when I come across something I don't know, it allows me to look it up and see, or connect with individuals that I know, which is the ones I follow. And it's okay. It's okay if you don't know. I'm not saying that is you should know. No, I'm saying it's the first step in learning. And many of us just be okay with just not knowing. Is it really that difficult or challenging to just actually put the work in to do the research? You work a job, there was a step you had to take. You at one point didn't have one. You had to look for ads, you had to look for a lead, you had to go and you do. And to be honest, most of us, when we get the job training, we are taught that we got to do research on the company if you want to think you're going to have a good interview. So if you don't know about the company, what did you do? You looked it up. That's what we're supposed to do. But don't be afraid to admit that you don't know, or don't just do it for purposes when you just want to get hired. And then get mad because you don't know information beyond that. And somebody's questioning you and is making you look some type of way, and you're in your feelings. Okay, so when I go in a setting and there's Latin and there's Spanish conversation that begins to happen, it bothers me because I don't know. That is one of the things that I am learning, is to be able to start dedicating my time to learn a second language. So I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at myself because I don't know. But I know there are ways out here for me to learn, which is the first step. And I came in contact with this beautiful woman. She just had a gracious soul. And I used to work in an office, and she would come in there and she was like, "You want to learn how to speak Spanish? You got to do the work, mama. You got to do the work." I said, "You're right, you're right, you're right." But she has such a welcoming energy, and she taught me about Babel. I didn't know about Babel, but I appreciated. She told me she learned to communicate in English in less than a year. That's inspiring to me because I don't know how to speak their language, but they came here and in no time they learned to speak mine. If you don't know, it's okay. I was told that if you don't know, you're supposed to ask somebody. Hell, you can ask Siri, Alexa, any of them. Just don't act like you do know and get an attitude because you don't. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. We got family members that do the same thing. You want to portray this image like you have it all together? Okay, fine. But it's only when you think that I'm supposed to fly by that too. Well, no, ain't no strings pulled over here, partner. You ask me a question, I'm going to directly answer you. It's not my fault if you're not able to receive it or you don't like what was told. You asked, now you know. Because the reason why you asked is you didn't know. I want y'all to answer that question. Why is admitting I don't know the very first step to learning? Pass it on, because many people don't know that it's okay to not know. They think that they have to put this facade on that they do know when they don't. No. Are you afraid to learn? You learn your training for your job. So it's okay if somebody else knows something a little more than you. It doesn't mean that you are being belittled. It means that somebody is sharing the knowledge and information that they have. Just be receptive and listen. Not judgmental. And not envious and jealous. Because you don't know. But you're going to learn today if you listen. When I find myself in situations where I call it, we're either measuring balls or we're battling for the best, I don't do that. I've had situations where I've been with females and one pulled out a purse to show what they had, and I was like, oh, I got several of them. It's always the competition. It's like, I don't do that. If I don't know, I'm going to ask. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's some people who gatekeep. They won't tell. They want you to go through the same hard work path, trials, tribulations that they did to get the knowledge that they get. And I'm not going to argue with you. Because you were obviously either close to my proximity, you were close to me, I know you found it, whatever the case was, and I asked you for the formula and the recipe, and you chose not to give it to me, that says a lot. So what I do is I move forward. What is it that I know I can obtain, will obtain, and must obtain on my own? I can, I will, I must. I can, I will, I must. I can, I will, I must. To be able to continue to feed my vessel energy, my brain energy, to be able to always rewrite what I have been so low vibrationally conditioned to is important. And it's definitely not about competition to see what am I going to know more than the next. No, it's what is it that I want to learn and get to learning so that I know. And preferably, I'm learning things to find out about what I want to know toward things I'm doing and building. I've told y'all about the woodwork. I've told y'all about learning about codes, learning about real estate. I've told y'all these things. These are how my days are set up. When you realize there's that much information accessible to you before it no longer is, I'm taking that opportunity. I have felt like I'm behind to a degree because I started later, because I didn't always have this mindset. These are no excuses, I'm being honest. I wasn't even worried or thinking about having this mindset. I got a trigger. I received an upgrade, a download. I was hit with an emotional trauma that caused me to say, I want something different. And I began to move in that way. From what I do, what I say, who I be around, where I go. It's important. Those things affect your energy. So what I did is that I began to start planning out, what did I want? How am I going to be able to get it? What do I need to get it? What are the steps for me to start? And I began. In the last 20 years, I've made some major accomplishments that 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been focused on. I was not focused on. When I would think about my dreams and goals, I would always think about how I did not have the time to do it. That's the wrong way to think about it. Once again, it's about what is it that you want to do. It's the mindset. When I put the mindset that building on me is a priority, constructing me and working on me as a priority, I start working it in. And I seen the difference. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know what it is that I was looking to do. It was easy for somebody. That's why school was good for me. I've always been highly academically scored. I score highly on my academics all the time. My problem is that I don't want to be sitting up in an institution for that many hours. Come on, give me what you're going to give me so I can learn. I'm just telling you how I feel. I know that that's not how it goes. And that's not what I did anyway. So that's never been my issue. I realized that once I got my degree, the problem isn't school. The problem is it's better when I have somebody tell me what to do, I do it. But in the real world, outside of something like a school or a job, you don't have nobody over you to make sure that you do what you do. And that's when I understand the importance of a life coach. I got it. Nobody was really in the type of person I am. There's very few people that can hold me accountable. I'm not saying that's great. I'm just being honest. And I can tell you a few. It's something that can get right here, right now. And I'd be like, yes, ma'am. And you'd be like, hey, is what it is, But nevertheless, it was so many people that did believe in me where they felt like I didn't need nobody over me. I needed more discipline. And that made sense. Even though I still reached out for a mentor and a life coach. But the discipline was the key. I didn't know that I needed to be the one to hold myself accountable the same way I did when I would make sure that I would commit to school, when I would commit to work. Why wasn't I able to do that on my own? I don't know. And that's when I began to find out. I didn't know a lot of things, but I realized that when I first started to create a list of what it is that I want, then I created a list of what it is I needed to do. I began to create smaller lists. So that goes back to that effect where is it that you do your short-term and your long-term goals. I started learning. Then I go back to the teachings of my computer and realize what this device holds. They call it the search engine for a reason. Search. What we're doing with AI is the stuff I've been doing with Google forever. All you got to do is type in what you want to know. Now, you do have to do the work because you have to go into these sites and you have to see if this is the information that you're looking for. Now, AI is a little bit more sophisticated. It's a little bit more detail orientated. But overall, all you're doing, because AI enhances prompts, Google finds what you're looking for. If you put spoon in, they're gonna give you 50, 150 spoons. AI be like, what type of spoons were made in the ancient times? Now Google could give you that too, but Google gonna give you a whole bunch of resources where you go in, whereas the AI gonna give you the basis of it and then give you where they cited from and then let you say which one you want to go into. Whatever the case is, it's a teaching tool, not a master. You command. Now, I've been really seriously thinking about seeing about teaching some of our elders and our seniors to be more techno savvy. Many of them don't want to. The only reason why I want to be able to teach them is because number one, they don't know how. And number two, a lot of their business surrounds where they have to use some type of technology to a degree. And I feel it's important. And I'm going to send this message out because as a people in society, you all have family. Make sure that you're teaching them how to use those devices and technology if they don't know. And be creative and spark conversations to connect because they're not going to tell you they don't know. Make sure next time you go to your elders, make sure that you are in their contacts. Show them how you add yourself to their contacts. Send them a text and then have them open up any. Get them a little bit more because they're not going to tell you. It's pride. Some will say help, but after a while, man, but make it fun if you are able to. Okay? But ask that question and pass it on. I also have a little oral activity for us today. And I want each of you all to go and look in the mirror and say out loud, I don't know everything, and that's an exciting truth. I don't know everything, and that is an exciting truth. I don't know everything, and that is an exciting truth. It's not about needing to know everything. You just don't need to act like you do when you really don't. And to be more open to asking for help when you don't know or just admitting, I don't know. I know many people struggle with it. You know what I mean? And those are signs that there's something more personal, intimate that needs to be addressed. And I've got videos on that too. Please, you can definitely check out my videos. At the same token, you have to decipher which one it is. Are you that one that does not know how to admit that you don't know so that you can be open to learn? Or are you that one that always make it seem like you know everything and that there is nothing that you don't know? We all have rooms for improvement. I know that my brain has to get a rest. And I may definitely get my brain a rest. And I also take my time. Where is it that I'm not learning? I'm fulfilling and enjoying myself. Laughter, turning on a comedy, get me some giggles in. Man, food for the soul. And I encourage it all because despite us having all these devices that we have access to on a regular, we got to be careful how we feed it to ourselves. And there's knowledge on that. Just like there's effects when you sit and you be in front of a screen as much as you do. I felt it. Not only from within my arm, what is it, carpal tunnel? And it's another one, forgot the name of it. Then as well as when you looking at this screen for an excessive amount of time and you steady typing, that wears and tears. So in addition to you being able to do work, take some time to pull away from it. But just make sure that if you're not just doing work, you're not just dead scrolling, but you are at least learning. Because there's a lot of things that you don't know that you could be learning while you got this device handy to you. We might not look at it that way. I see a lot of our elders, they've learned obviously how to listen to a lot of music. And I love that they listen to music because they come from an era where that music was soothing. And I love that. I also enjoy being able to teach and show them how to navigate through this. I think it's important that they know how to access the important family member numbers. I feel like it's important that they know how to access, you know what I'm saying, if there's an emergency text or something, but they also know how what not to touch or what not to do, because sometimes they can go in places and click on things and they can really mess their device up or put themselves in situations where they're overwhelmed with all of these tabs, texts, emails that they don't know nothing about, and that's overwhelming. So that's why I feel like I know it's important to teach them the basic fundamentals of navigation on those devices because they don't know. And I'm definitely challenging you all and encouraging you all, because as much as these youngsters, these babies, these little ones, they know how to get on the phone and scroll and this and that. Let's put our seniors and our elders up there too. Use it as a conversation opener. Be creative with it. Show them that they can access some of their old movies or old TV shows. I'm going to give you one prompt. Next time you go to your elders, just to be able to show them how to maneuver on their phone. Because when I worked in the office, I realized there's some that don't even know how to access their Play Store, and there's some that don't know how to access YouTube. They prefer to go to Google. That's fine. That's how you access it. But they just don't know. There's always an app to it. So I challenge you, next time you're with one of your elders, your seniors, because they don't know some things, many things when it comes to this technology. Ask them either what was their favorite TV show growing up or their favorite movie. Then assist them with showing them how you're going to attempt to pull it up on their phone and let them watch you. Show them what you're doing. Now, you might not ever seen this TV show or movie before. You both are going to learn something. And then guess what? Just for the sake of connection, y'all sit and watch it together. And if you really techno savvy, pull up the transcript so you can have the words coming up, or be able to put it on the brick screen so you can show them that they can actually put it on the it's different ways that you can show them. I ain't telling you to just scramble their brain. I'm saying share with them the different things that they can do, and there's no rush with this. I noticed with my mother, she struggles with what she touches. I'm going to suggest, let's teach our seniors how to work more with the stylus. Most of the phones are touchscreen, and so it becomes difficult when you steady put your hand. But if you use the stylus, you could be able to pinpoint where you want to go. Think about that. I know that I have took up y'all time. You know what I mean? I am so thankful, and I hope that this message resonated with you. If it didn't, please pass it along to somebody that can use it, because I know many of us don't know, and we don't want to be honest that we don't know. We got to do better with that, because that's the first step in learning. There's so much knowledge and information out here. We got to get to it. I want to thank you all for joining me. Please, if you have not, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this message with someone that you know could use it. And I am so thankful that you joined me again. And I bring this gracious, genuine, loving, honest, compassionate words to you. I want the best for our society, and I want the best for us as a people and a human race. And it got to start with more of the work within, which starts with having more conversations that need to be happening. So I will end this video, but never my love for you all. Enjoy your day, the rest of your day, and have an amazing day on purpose. Till we meet again.